All right. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. You guys ready for the hunt to kind of close out 2022? I know I am. I'm gonna be actively pursuing some of these roles. Maybe folks out there, some of my listeners, can hook a brother up. If I paid for these roles and shipping, maybe we could get possibly a box of quarters, of course, newer quarters. I prefer like full boxes of specific quarters for 2022. One personally that I would have an interest in ripping open is, if anyone has it, a brand new box of Maya Angelou quarters. All right, that's kind of a big ask, but I figure we could crack one of those open. And yeah, sorry that my little picture is covering up of what I have to say on my thumbnail. It says, really, don't wait. Hunt out these top 3 2022 quarters while they are worth the most. That's the most important word covered up here, is the word most. That's right behind my beautiful mug this morning. But as of this week, people are beginning to see the final release of the American Women 2022 quarter, and that's the Nina Otero. Nope, it's not. It's the Anime Wong. Oh, just joking with you. And the reason why I'm kind of joking around about that is, well, the Nina Otero Warren is not even remotely close to being one of the top 3 coins. We're looking specifically for varieties and errors in this case, in case you haven't figured that out. It's not the actual individual coins with nothing on them that's worth the most amount of money. It's the errors and varieties. And these, as of right now, and this might even change, if something absolutely bonkers ends up getting discovered out of the Anime Wong quarter, which again releases this week. I've already seen a few folks that have found these quarters here this week. Unless there's something crazy that's come out on the final quarter of 2022, as of right now, this is the list. We might do a little revision at the end of the year and sometime in December to kind of change things out a little bit. But guys, if you're not looking for these and you're looking for some free easy tendies, these are the coins to look for immediately while they're going to be in their highest state of preservation, the highest state of grade. There's no better time to look for these than now. In addition, they're worth the most amount of money today, right now in 2022. What we've seen from some of the biggest finds in 2021, hard to believe that was a year ago. We had the Crown die chip, Washington crossing the Delaware, that at one point was $150 to $200 coin for the later state advanced progression of that particular error. Now they've come crashing down about half its value 12 months later. But there's a little bit of kind of fine print to that. The coins that are being found are circulated. So there's a reason why these coins have dropped in price and value, is that they're not being found in decent grades enough to really call gems. Yeah, you're just not finding those that much. But even still, the few mid-state examples of that particular anomaly have all dropped down under $100. All right, same with the Tuskegee Airman Strike Through, the one that's right on the building on the reverse. Those used to be $200 to $300 for the nicer ones. They've also come crashing down around $100 or less. They're a lot more affordable than they used to, but this is kind of like you're foreseeing the future here with everything that we've seen on the American Women quarters, whether it's an error or that doubled earring variety on the Maya Angelou. These things will be worth a lot less 12 months later compared to what they are right now. And it really has to do with, what's the newest, biggest, baddest thing on the block, right? And it as human beings, that's our nature. We have a very short attention span to where the thing that's sitting in front of us the most readily available, the newest, shiniest, prettiest thing out there. You know, it's like a great parallel to automobiles, right? What used to be hip and cool in 2020, today, there's always something that's a lot better. And, you know, we're constantly being captivated by everything that's being put in front of us because that's the world we live in today. So these 3 quarters are the biggest, baddest things, the shiniest, prettiest, awesomest, most dramatic coins on the block. Let's go ahead and talk about the first one. You guys already had a little bit of a preview of it, but these Maya Angelous, man, have been a roller coaster ride of emotions. You know, when they first came out, people really thought that the drooling corner of mouth die chip was the thing. Like, you know, you found tiny ones, you found medium-sized ones, and then you had this big, nasty, gnarly one. Like, dude, you gotta stop kissing all the ladies. But that used to be the big thing, along with that little twig die gouge on the reverse that's right on the bird's beak. It was just like perfectly placed. That thing was like $20, $25. But those things have come crashing down because they are incredibly common. They're all over the place. The little twig die gouge was even found in those US Mint rolls that were available directly from the mint. You know, they had the PDNS. So if you obtained some of those P-Mint Maya Angelou rolls directly from the mint, a lot of those had that little die gouge on the reverse. But there's been a couple of new varieties that have emerged that were found by actual viewers of not only Blue Ridge Silverhound, but the live coin Q&A. And we personally had a hand in pointing these folks in the right direction to get these things attributed. And guess what? People are capitalizing on the new doubled die attributions. So we have 3, as of right now, 3 brand new doubled dies. All right, I will show each of those close up for you on this video, and then we're going to take a look at completed sales, so that way you guys have some perspective on how much these things have climbed in just the last 30 to 60 days. It will blow your mind. All right, so the first one that we have here is the first one that was discovered by Evelyn Rivera. This is the VDDR number 1. This one showcases a doubled earring that's on the outside of the earring. This thing is absolutely freaking amazing. This is like as small as this is on the coin, and you guys are going to need some sort of magnifier or jeweler's loop. If you don't have one of these, go ahead and check out my Amazon links below. I even have microscopes for sale. However, you know, most people need the little, you know, magnifying glass, jeweler's loop. You could get those for around $7, $8, really inexpensive. If you don't have one of those in your searcher's toolkit, I just really don't know what else to say. That's an important thing to have, and it's to allow you to identify things like this. All right, these have been getting discovered and found all over the eastern half of the US. It's amazing. And how much these coins are selling for today will absolutely blow your mind. But getting back to what we're looking for, this is the first one found by Miss Rivera, VDDR number 1 on Variety Vista's website. That's Dr. James Wiles' website. Got this attributed over the summer, and it has been anointed as being the first discovered doubled die for this series. That's significant enough to be worthy of the number 3 coin on the list. Now, here is VDDR number 2. This one, number 2 and number 3, were both discovered by Dodger 455, one of our guests on not only the Blue Ridge Silverhound channel, but in addition to the live coin Q&A, where he had originally submitted 2 brand new doubled earring finds. You can see this one here, as opposed to the doubled earring being on the outside like number 1, this one's actually on the inside, on the southwest corner of the earring. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. All right, I would say that this one's the second rarest out of the 3 known attributed double dies. And then finally, we have this bad boy right here. I mean, this one is crazy because it's not on the inside, kind of like running, the same shape of the earring. This one is completely displaced southward, all right, and into Miss Angelou's little neck muscle right there. I mean, this thing is cool. This one also discovered by Dodger 455. Both coins he had sent to Dr. Wiles for attribution. So, respectively, the previous image is number 2. This is VDDR number 3. So we have 3 known varieties. And this is what I would say is the rarest out of the 3. There have been maybe 1 or 2 known sales here since its discovery. Or I would say even before then, because there have been, I think, 1 other listing that sold before it was attributed. So this is it, man. This is the there's 3 of them. You're not just looking for 1. You're looking for 3 different types, and you can find them, on any of them. These are found on P-minted coins. To kind of give you some insight as to realized sales. I just did Maya Angelou DDR. You probably end up putting also earring in there or doubled earring. We could check that out as well, but I did highest to lowest. So there was a lot of 3 of the DDR number 1s that sold on October 18th for $82.50. Here's one right here, which is the DDR number 2. That sold on the 14th, I believe, for a best offer of $45 on that one. So that one a lot higher. Here's another lot of 3 that sold way back in August 31st when they were first discovered, but nobody had attributed yet. $60 for 3 of them. These, by the way, have shot up on a singular coin basis. Someone had put a 2022 Denver. I couldn't really look at this one too well. The pictures weren't great. Here's a VDDR number 3 that's sold on the 19th for $50. I mean, we're talking some really good money per piece here. And these should be front and center on your hunts. When you're looking through quarters, this should be one of those coins, 1, 2, and 3 that you should be looking at every single time because they're worth a heck of a lot more than 25 cents. September 9th, here's a VDDR number 1 for $40. Here's another one here, a number 1, October 19th for $43 with 28 bits. You're noticing the trend? These things are going up in price. They used to be $20 a piece when they were first found. Now they're selling for double that, and that's just in the course of like 60 days. So, you could use whatever excuse you want to. Oh, we're in the holidays and people traditionally pay more money for these. It's not that. It's that people are enamored with new discoveries, with new varieties, and they're actually going out. And as opposed to doing the work and going and picking up rolls at the bank, they're just simply buying these. And they're paying whatever the market is. You guys, the variety collecting community is a lot bigger than you guys believe, all right? And a lot of these folks have a lot of money to throw around. You can just see a more DDR number 1s. Again, the more common the 3, $39. You can add shipping in there. That'd be $41 with 25 bids. Here's another one on the 23rd. VDDR number 2 with shipping about $38. But the narrative doesn't change. These numbers have not changed. We're getting into older listings. This is from the 18th for $30 as a buy it now. Could they have sold it for more money? They could have. I mean, really, in reality, they could have. But they accepted $35.75. Buy it now. Here's one from September 9th for $30. That one's a DDR number 1. Here's the one I talked about on my PCMR yesterday as being maybe a new variety. We'll see. This one does need to get sent off to Dr. Wiles. And here's another number 1 from September 18th for $30. 11 bids. $29.95 if you're being kind of like on with it with the cents and stuff. But yeah, this is this is just the number 3 coin. We have 2 other coins to talk about from the brand new 2022 quarters. that should be front and center of your hunting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the second coin here. And there have been a number of these really cool field restricted strike throughs on both the Maya Angelous, which are not as spectacular, but the Sally Rides. The Sally Ride quarter is actually getting a little bit of love on this list. They're number 2 here. All right. Things might change a little bit here, depending on how much more these Maya Angelous are selling. If they're continuing to stay the course, we might see the number 3 coin overtake this one. But this one right here should be a no-brainer. You should be looking for this one every single time, and they stick out like a sore thumb. But these have a tremendous strike through that usually goes through the ponytail. There are some versions that go into the words "In God We Trust," the motto, depending on the size. This is actually a really nice sized example here. But there are also a few examples of strike through events like this on the reverse of the coin. There is one that looks like a punch. It's Punch and Sally Ride right in her kisser. But yeah, there's also a really nice strike through event. And again, this is all a byproduct of something that's relatively new. It might be just the new kind of like mint press type of design or whatever. It's a flaw, you know. But the feeder finger comes incredibly close. Every time it has to insert or eject a planchet, it's sitting there tapping the top of the die, scraping it. And if there's any grease on there, what it's doing is it's kind of pushing it around. And as long as there's grease in that area with debris, and keep in mind, every time it's hitting the die, guess what it's doing? Metal shavings, other things coming off of it, and it's mixing with the grease, you know, making it extra hard and thick. And that's why we're seeing quite a bit of these strike-through events on not only the Maya Angelou, but the Sally Rides. Now, the Sally Rides have been a lot more spectacular in size, and that's why I decided and elected to put this one here. Now, unfortunately, we're only seeing these on Philadelphia minted coins as well. Although there has been a report that a Denver minted quarter, that one I believe is Maya Angelou, had a strike through of a similar nature on the obverse as well, although not as big. It's quite small. It's behind the ear. But this is another one to keep an eye out for. As far as sales are concerned, here's a few examples here that people have been that have listed but haven't necessarily sold. We're actually going to look at the sold ones here momentarily. Here's a nice one here for $100. Of course, you can buy it now for that amount. Here's another good one here for $80. And you guys see why I put this one here in lieu of the doubled earrings, is that these sell for a little bit more money per piece. Here's one here. This is the one that's on the reverse. That's features some of those notable feeder finger scrapes, along with a goop of kind of like that strike through event on there. $65 or best offer. Here's a little smaller one right under the ear for $59. There's a few of them. Here's a nice one here for $45. But let's go ahead and take a look at sold listings, because this is what is more meaningful for the data. Here's one for $50, a small one that's under right behind the ear. This one is particularly large. This one sold for $40, I believe. I ended up checking 130 point. This one actually has a strike through that goes all the way into the motto on that one. This one sold August 8th, so that's a relatively recent example. There haven't been too many sales. There have been a few, but I think people have put different terminology in their listing, and they don't put strike through in there. They'll put like error or something to that effect, and it's not showing up in this particular data. Here's another one here. This is actually a lot of 3 coins that sold back in September for $37. Minus shipping, of course, $5.60. So almost $42 or something. 16 bids. Here's a big one here. Best offer was accepted. Here's one right here, October 5th. 9 bids for $30.60. So You guys, could possibly see, here's a big one right here where the strike through goes to the motto. You could see why that possibly the double deering Mayas will overtake these, is that, we're seeing prices that are stable, but yet beginning to fall a little bit short to where the Maya Angelou double dies are currently sitting. All right, and then the final coin, by no mistake or contest whatsoever, has to be the Wilma Mankiller thrillers. I mean, these things are, they're all of a sudden becoming really expensive. There's two different progressions. There might even be a third one, I believe, in there. The one that is least valuable has to be this one here. And this one has the featured retained die break right above Washington's head. You can see that right there. So a piece of the die had fractured. There is displacement. So the die piece hadn't completely fallen out because it's still striking up a few letters of liberty right on that piece. But it's billowed out. It's lit. It's a lot higher in relief, probably to where this is right here, like this little tuft of hair right on Washington's ear. But this one is generally accompanied by a lot of strike through on not only the obverse but the reverse as well, and we're seeing that on here. There have been examples of this particular error where there is no strike through whatsoever, and the rest of the devices are quite strong. So there's like a type 1 and then a 1B of this particular one. I'll show you guys pricing data, but of course the big one to look out for is going to be this one right here. This is the double-sided retained die break. This one has still that obverse die break above Washington's head, but also on the reverse has that really dramatic crack that goes from the rim through America into the star, and then it kind of like snakes its way to the letter M in Mankiller and into Miss Mankiller's robe or blanket or whatever you want to call that. But this is the big one right here. First reported sale of this coin in excess of $1,000 came in the way of a graded example. I believe it was an NGC graded example of this coin. Entered the market about a month and a half ago. Ended up selling for $1,200. It seems to me that if you have a specimen that's of a really nice quality, you should probably end up sending this to either PCGS or NGC. It would be worth the extra $60, $65 to send it to PCGS. Make sure you get it attributed as an error with the retained CUD, reverse, and obverse on there. And then you'll have a coin that'll be extremely valuable for years to come. And I'm sure that, much nicer, cleaner examples will be top of the market. I could see in a situation that 5 to 10 years from now, and the reason why I'm saying that these things can appreciate to like ungodly stratospheric type of levels is that the Newman director had come out publicly, through a few interviews. She even talked to one of our correspondents, Adam Chambers, who's on the Live Coin Q&A channel at the ANA show a month or two back, and had said, we're going to tighten up the Philadelphia quality control. And I don't know if the Nina Otero Warren quarter that we saw released about a month and a half, 2 months ago was a precursor to that, because we haven't really seen anything nuts on that coin, unfortunately. But it's entirely possible that we're not going to see these type of errors of this magnitude show up in circulation after this year. We're going to see. It really depends on Ventress's, just desire to clean this up. I know a lot of people are saying, well, oh, thank goodness that's happening. But you have to understand the ramifications of losing that quality control is that you're not going to see things like this anymore. Coins that sell for $20, $30, $40 after this year might be a thing of the past. And that's why this is a urgent act now situation while these coins are currently floating around in circulation, because this, my friends, is big money. If you need money for Christmas, you're staring at it right in the face. This one coin can fund a family of 4 for the holidays. I'm not joking. This is the chase piece here. Let's go ahead and take a look at sales for this particular coin. Again, it's amazing. I mean, we're looking at just listings that people have up available. Someone had an NGC Mid-State 65 graded. This one used to be over $11,000. They've bumped it down to $8,300 or best offer. That's not even close to the market, with all due respect. I don't even know why they put the word political in their listing. It's just, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, just to let you guys know, there is a graded one. That's got the error attribution, obverse and reverse retained die break is what it says. But when we roll down here, we have one for $1,000. Here's another one right here that is currently in a regular listed auction. This is a double-sided retained cud or retained die break for $760 with 2.5 hours left. That's going to be exciting to see where this one ends up at, and it's in really nice shape as well. There's a few of them on here. Here's another one here for $555 with 3 days left, and that's also with the reverse retained die break as well. I know there was a couple of them in here I saw. Here's another one here for $400. I believe this is a single-sided, so it's just the obverse cud. This one right here, I believe, is the obverse cud as well. I looked at a lot of these already. So, yeah, you can see the money is unbelievably large. Still, a few months after this thing had been discovered. Here's one right here. If you want an economical one, that's a single-sided. $227 with 8 days left. Huh. Well, this one says obverse and reverse as well. Let's see what this one shows here. I want to thank you guys for bearing with me. This is kind of a long video, but again, I'm shooting down the expectation here that these just don't exist. Obviously, they exist because these are real sales, ladies and gentlemen. This is a single-sided with a strike through on there. I think that might be it for those that are currently available in the marketplace. So if you guys are looking for one of these, now might be the time to strike. Maybe your time to strike probably had come and gone, although you could theoretically wait until next year to get one of these when the prices begin to dip a little bit. So here's one right here, double-sided, $1,300. This one sold September 26th, 4 bids. Here's another one here. It sold for $1,250. The prices just are insane. Here's that graded example that sold for $1,200 from September 30th. Here's the August 8th auction for best offer. That's an obverse reverse. Here's another one here, which looks really nice as well. So there's a lot of these that had sold. Again, kind of a testament to the rarity, which it's not. I'm not going to go out and say that it's super rare, but it really presents a real shot at finding some of these right now. And then, once we get into, and we're beginning to see it, the new anime Wong's out. That's going to dilute down the amount of inventory in circulation. Once we get into 2023, we're going to have the next quarter and the next one after that. There's 5 releases per year for 4 years. So we're going to see a lot of these 2022 errors and varieties become diluted over time to the point where they're going to be hard to find, A. B, they're going to be in pretty rough shape because circulation, it doesn't take long. Give it 12 to 18 months, and these coins will look like they've been out for 5 years or 10 years. It really will not take that long. But yeah, I mean, come on. This is a no-brainer. This is a coin that people are finding. It used to be relegated to the southeast corner of the U.S. People have been finding these in other locations as well, not just in the southeast. Although I think a great concentration of them are in like Alabama and Florida and a few other states. So this is the coin. Find these right now in 2022 before that calendar flips over, you guys will soon not regret going out for the hunt. Even if you could just go and get one roll. I don't want to hear any excuses about how my bank's not giving out rolls. Yeah, well, that one bank has how many branches? You know, go take a drive. You know, drive 50 miles. Go to the biggest city you can, where there's more merchant services, and they will have more rolls. You know, while you're out doing a day trip, you know, check out 10 banks. You know, do your due diligence. If you're not finding these, that's largely a fault of your own because you're not being diligent about going out and finding these roles. You know, if the money was that important, you need an extra break, you know, as far as having enough money to pay for the kids' Christmas this year or to get things ready for tax time, which is like in 3-4 months, or other expenditures. I mean, you know, why would you not do this? Because the money is just so unbelievably large right now across all three of these finds that, you know, you could put in a little bit of work and get a lot back out of it. All right. So I'm here to pump you guys up, not to break you guys down. I want to hear about successes. My channel operates off of feeding off of your guys' energy. You guys are finding these coins. You guys are hitting it big. I love hearing about that. It pumps me up at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, at the middle of the day. So go ahead and check these out. Go ahead and look for them. Big money to go, plenty to go around, believe me. I'm actually looking to buy a set of these earring quarters, all three of them, in really nice shape. So I'm a buyer of some of these. All right. So let me know if you guys have them. Best of luck to you guys in your hunts. Go ahead and check it out. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Come look for me on TikTok as well at BlueRidgeSilverhound if you're looking for much shorter videos and not 32 minutes. All right. Catch you guys later. Best of luck. See ya.